I would call it more nationalistic than jingoistic, this film.
In Fighter, when I wore the uniform, in a second you feel the responsibility, you feel the weight, you feel the strength.
It is inspired by a true incident that happened in 2019, and that is an incident that obviously I'm sure has angered all of you all as much as it did to us, and it was a trigger for us to make a film and talk about the might and the stand that our country took.
You know, he's a mixed breed between like an Alsatian and a Pomeranian.
I'm an action film director, yaar. Mere image.
I just feel like this whole male-female conversation, I don't think women can succeed without men. And I don't think men can succeed without women. I think we need to rephrase the definition of feminism.
Our war is not against a country, it's against terrorism. And that is what Fighter stands for.
You are both co-starring with each other for the first time. And when there is a fresh co-star in any part in your career, is there some special challenge or a good part of the challenge? In the sense, positive something which gives you some extra energy or whatever? Extra determination or
Extra determination.
No, of course, I was very excited to work with her.
Say nice things.
And I think everything becomes very easy when two actors come as actors and are focused on interpreting the lines and getting the best out of each scene that's on paper. And with Deepika, that became really, really easy because she brings a lot of realism in her work. And so I was constantly just bouncing off of that, you know. Each line that she says, it is coming from a very, very deep place, and I could tell that this is real. And if I don't maintain that, you know, I might look like I'm overdoing things. So I had to make sure that I'm at that frequency. And thanks to her, I think all the scenes of Minnie and Patty look extremely vulnerable. They look extremely endearing and very, very real. And there's another little thing that helped me a lot. This is when we were shooting for Sher Khul Gaye. And I had obviously put in a lot of effort in, you know, getting the steps right. But when I saw Deepika doing the same step, I was like, this is looking so effortless, man.
Now he's embarrassing.
And then I asked her, and you remember this.
I remember this.
I asked her, Deepika, can you just do your step for me, please? And we are on set, cameras ready. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this until I understand what's going wrong with my step. So I asked her to do the step. I saw what she was doing, and then I copied what her style was.
Sure. Basically, I was doing it so badly that we had no choice that he copies me.
You can't say that because सबने गाना देखा है.
सबने गाना देखा हुआ है और आप भी थे वहाँ पर, आप थे. I asked her to do the step, then because sometimes you know, you get very lost in the technicality of the step, and I was getting lost in the technicality of it. जब मैंने उन्हें देखा, I said, this is looking effortless. I am going to now change the step a little bit and do it the way she does it, and that enhanced my dance as well. So thank you for that again. Thank you.
Very sweet. Thank you.
Your
Yeah, Hrithik was my
One,
student.
I find it very hard to believe because I never trust anything he says. But having said that, no, he did mention this to me when we were.
Not once.
I find
It happened 3
It's very
times.
hard to believe because I think an actor and a dancer of his caliber to say that, and the acting bit I'm hearing, I think for the first time.
No, I have
You have
mentioned
said
this
it
to you
before.
many
Yes.
times.
I just don't take it seriously. But yes, I think of course it's always special when you work with someone for the first time. It's also, there's a lot of discovering. You don't know, there's so much expectation. He's probably seen my work, I've seen his work. You always build this expectation in your head about a colleague. And when you go onto set, sometimes it's what you expect, sometimes it's more than what you expect, and sometimes it's just not what you expect. And for me, it's to some extent, I'd heard about this phenomenon of Hrithik Roshan, but I think I experienced it for the first time. So everything that we've all heard about his craft and honesty and his process and all of that, it is that and a lot more. And the a lot more is what I've experienced after working with him. I don't think I've come across any actor who is so like there's just he's just only thinking about this all the time, every line, every movement, and yet so effortless. And yeah, I think what we were both able to do is just be very honest with each other when the cameras were rolling, and I think it is very, very special when you find an actor, another actor in front of you who can do the same thing, because otherwise sometimes it's a little difficult. And then it makes it fun, it makes it challenging. Then when your director says you want to do one more take, you look forward to it because you never know what is going to come out of it. It's not rehearsed. And that happens often. You work with people because they have a beat and you know exactly this is what, no matter how many times you do it, this is exactly what you're going to get. And then you have actors where you never know what to expect. So in fact, it's really nice to keep trying different things. And most importantly, I feel like I've learnt a lot from him. I don't think I've extracted his brain enough. I think there was an opportunity, because I'm very shy, and so I feel like I'll impose if I ask too many questions, but I feel like I had that opportunity.
Nonsense.
And I didn't make the most of it. But here is a person I feel like you can just learn so much from him. And there are moments where I've asked him questions and learned and observed, and I've definitely taken a lot from this as an actor.
Anilji, the second question is for you. Any memories, because Hrithik assisted his father in some of your films with him. So from there to being your co-star, something you can share? Or maybe Hrithik?
There's a lot that I can share.
No, please.
A lot that I can
He's asked me the question.
I want to go first.
Well, I think Deepika is very right when she says that. कि आप ऋतिक के दिमाग में घुसना चाहते हैं. आप कि यार ये नॉर्मल है, ये इतनी मेहनत कैसे करता है, ये अपने किरदार के लिए, अपने कैरेक्टर के लिए, अपनी फिल्म के लिए, जितनी भी फिल्में की हैं, कौन एक, एंड मैं इतना भी कह सकता हूँ कि I've been very fortunate that I've worked with the best in the world, and for me to say that I would rate him with all the phenomenal actors I've worked with, and sincere, honest, and an actor to the core. Hrithik abhi keh raha tha कि I just love acting, I just love, and I want to use my stardom, which Deepika also said very beautifully. But longevity उसी में है. अगर आप सिर्फ 10-12 साल काम करना चाहते हैं तो वो अलग प्रोसेस है. अगर आप 50 साल काम करना चाहते हैं या मरते दम तक काम करना चाहते हैं तो आपको ऋतिक रोशन बनना पड़ेगा. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने बहुत सारे को-स्टार्स के साथ काम किया, बट इतना जेनरस, इतना गिविंग, इतना ऑनेस्ट मेरे करियर में कोई नहीं आज तक.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's I'm saying it very honestly, and when you see the film also, you will see जो भी मैंने scenes देखे हैं, पूरी फिल्म अब तक जैसे आप लोगों ने देखी है, मैंने भी अब तक देखी नहीं है. मैं भी जितना भी मैंने शूटिंग में देखी और जब मैंने थोड़ा बहुत ADR किया, डबिंग की, you will see, it's a role, very difficult role, very tough role, and he's done it very, very honestly. And I've got this opportunity, so let me speak about Deepika also, if you don't mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wasn't a part of the question.
No, but You know, you know, why some actors and actresses resonate from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and then somewhere you feel that they cross their country and somewhere they resonate all over the world. कुछ तो बात होती है, ऐसे ही नहीं होता, you know, कि कुछ उनके डेडिकेशन में, उनकी मेहनत, उनका काम जो ऊपर वाले ने उन्हें खूबसूरती दी है, चेहरा दिया है, आवाज़ दी है, सब कुछ जो उन्होंने दिया है, you know, using it fullest and always trying to do better and raising the bar. And ऋतिक ने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि जब उन्हें देखते हैं हम लोग शॉट दे रहे, डायलॉग मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मगर जब वो रिएक्शन जो मिल रहा है मिनिमल, यू नो, मिनिमल, ज़्यादा नहीं है, और वो ज़्यादा नहीं और वो करेक्ट बैलेंस है, एंड देन स्टिल कन्वेइंग इट, आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट दीपिका इज. एंड आई टू सिड, यू नो, एंड इट्स अ प्लेजर. एंड आई, यू नो, जैसे आप पहली बार कर रहे हैं तो आप दोनों के साथ भी मैं पहली बार काम कर रहा हूँ. So I was also discovering, you know, not only as actors but as people, as co-actors. And बिल्कुल सही कहा कि ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं मिला क्योंकि हम अपने काम में, क्योंकि ये इतनी चैलेंजिंग फिल्म थी, इतने चैलेंजिंग रोल्स थे, और जैसे ही कहा कि एयरफोर्स के बारे में और यू नो आर्म फोर्सेस के बारे में, नेशन के बारे में, पेट्रियोटिज्म के बारे में, तो आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी 10 गुना ज़्यादा हो जाती है. तो आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इतनी होती है कि फिर ये सब वक्त नहीं मिलता है बात करने का, बिकॉज आप चाहते हैं कि यार ये वक्त मिला है तो लेट्स डू आवर बेस्ट. तो जितना वक्त हम लोग यार वहाँ भी जब तेजपुर में, तो यू नो जितने भी ऑफिसर्स थे या प्रेप थे या फैमिली के साथ गुजार रहे थे, तो ज़्यादा वक्त हमको मिला नहीं बात करने का. तो पार्ट टू होपफुली बाय द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड, ऊपर वाला चाहे तो
बिल्कुल
जरूर होगा. तो सिद्ध साहब का ये कहूँगा, यू नो, ही इज डेफिनेटली.
मेरा सवाल नहीं था
सिद्धार्थ, मैं मुझे मौका मिला, मैं प्लीज.
नहीं सर, वो मुझे फोन पे बोल देना.
नहीं, मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि ही इज, यू नो, इन अ ट्रू सेंस hitting the sweet spot of realism and commercialism, and I think this is definitely going to be a film where I'm sure, you know, obviously it's so much happens when a film releases, but मैं दिल से कह रहा हूँ कि this will be a film where when Sid looks back, यार ये फिल्म की थी मैंने, you know, I feel this is something really special you have done, Sid. I want people to see the film, I want people to see our work and they decide. So I don't want to just say too much about it, but I'm really proud and I've really sincerely been one of my best journeys of my career.
Wow, thank you sir.
Working this film.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much. And your journey sir, so it is spectacular.
It's a big journey.
ज़्यादा लंबा मत बोलना, अभी
मैं आगे कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा. Next.
Well, I know you've answered the question, but if I may,
but the question is going to come to you.
no,
there must be so many people.
I don't want to say this to them. I want to say this to you.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So I have worked as an assistant while watching you in many films, my dad's films, and I modeled my process of how to get into the film as an actor by seeing you.
Wow.
And I spent 3-4 years doing that. And I was a very good assistant. In fact, even now, I love shifting between being Sid's actor and Sid's assistant.
He's the best assistant I've had.
I love doing that. But as an assistant, मैं आपको देखता था, I used to learn. And then, of course, whatever happened in the journey, अब फाइटर के सेट पे हम लोग सीन कर रहे थे in the corridor. And I had just seen a few scenes of the film and I was on set with you. And you know, when you tell somebody, when you compliment somebody about how well they've done in a scene, the common reaction is, oh, thank you so much. You know, that's great. I'm so happy. Thank you. But when you win a gold medal at the Olympics, or when you win the Wimbledon, something that you have put your entire life and soul and every cell of yourself has gone into something, and then when you get a compliment, no, there you feel overwhelmed and you have tears in your eyes. So back to the corridor, I had just seen a few scenes and I came to you and I told you that एक scene है film में which was written on paper as a very aggressive scene. It was full of aggression and anger. And then I saw what you did. And I told you, you have interpreted this scene in an entirely different emotional way. And what you have done is absolutely taken the film from there to there in that one scene. और जब मैंने ये बात उनसे कही, your eyes welled up. You had tears in your eyes. And I was just watching you aghast. Like, my God, this man must have put so much of himself into that one scene that when he is getting to hear that he did well, he had tears in his eyes. This is after 4 decades of doing what he does, still to have the power to give that much into a scene. That day, I again turned into an assistant and I just watched him. And I said, he has tears in his eyes. Because he did one chota sa scene tha ek. And for that, he had put in so much that he had tears in his eyes. And I went to Sid and I said this, yeah, Sid, he still got tears. To have that kind of, I hope to God that I can maintain that kind of power in me to be able to give that much of me like you have. Amazing. He still has tears in his eyes.
But I think every actor of our generation aspires to be you in the way that you just,
Really?
your commitment and just the way you are every single day. Everyone sees it and everyone aspires to be like that.
Acting schools should have a symbol of you. You should make a symbol.
But that is true. Really.
लगा देना चाहिए ऐसा banner. Symbolic. Thank you.
My question is to you and Deepika. Pathaan, it actually set the tone for the entire year, 2023, with, obviously the many like the 1,000 crores. And it really set the ball rolling. What are your expectations, with this aerial extravaganza, really?
So, may I start?
Yes, please. This is your question.
So honestly, like I said, the kind of timing that we had in Pathaan, we were coming out, even if it wasn't that timing, there is nobody, I think I can speak for all filmmakers in this country, nobody when he's making the film obviously expects it or wants it, but कभी कोई सोच नहीं सकता कि हम वो success attain करेंगे या वो figures attain करेंगे. Nobody can plan for it, you can dream, but there's no planning that can go into it and you can achieve it. So it's a lot of luck, it's a lot of love, a lot of effort obviously. We were all taken by surprise, everyone. I don't think there's anybody in that team of Pathaan that expected that. And we all hope कि थोड़ा प्यार मिले हमें और हम एक soft entry वापस हिंदी फिल्मों की ला सकें into the hearts of the audience, एक soft entry. And उन्होंने तो दिल ही खोल दिया अपना पूरा हमारे लिए, and that is just the love of the audience and we didn't expect it, and I think we take the opportunity to thank the audience for that. And now we are at the cusp of something very, very special again, and we're just hoping, not for the numbers, we're just hoping प्यार मिले, recognition मिले. हमने देश की पिक्चर बनाई है, देसी पिक्चर बनाई है, एक बहुत rooted पिक्चर है ये. Yes, बहुत stylized है, but actually बहुत देसी पिक्चर है ये, एक हिंदी पिक्चर है ये, and it speaks to the lowest common denominator, and everybody from families to the youth to the masses to the elitists, there'll be something for everybody in this film, and we're just hoping for love. Numbers will follow.
Numbers will follow, Hrithika?
Yeah, I mean, like I said this earlier, I feel like nobody makes, I don't know, I just feel like, I know people do, but when you make movies for the box office and when you work in reverse, you're just not being true to the process, and I think that always shows eventually. And in the work that we've done before, I know that has never been the intention. The intention is to tell a beautiful story that the audience is going to connect with, that's going to have a positive impact. And you're going to have a great time while making the movie, because the process is as important as the result in itself. And I think what makes Fighter even more special is this is our tribute and our thank you to every single fighter out there who puts their life at risk every single day so that we are safe. And so this is our thank you to them.
Amazing. And especially with the kind of year you had, the last one, and even with this, there's Shakti Shetty coming in. A White Lotus 3 apparently.
White Lotus
okay, but
What is White Lotus?
You don't know the show White Lotus? He's been very busy.
I live under a rock, apparently.
it's a great show. You must catch.
Thanks for exposing me.
Fingers crossed. Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
White Lotus 3? तूने बताया नहीं मेरे को?
Hi, this is Siddharth from the Indian Express. My
Hi.
question is to Hrithik and Siddharth. When I saw the trailer, the first film that popped up in my head was Top Gun. I wanted to know, because there are a lot of similarities as per the trailer with the film, also with Top Gun, is that Shamsher Padukone is a rebel. Pete Mitchell was also a rebellious character in Top Gun, and also there is an elite unit of aircraft, Air Force fighters. Was that film a bit of an influence on the making of Fighter, or maybe the ideation of it?
You want to take it?
I think I would say thank you for the comparison, and I take it as a compliment when a film that we make here in our country, which is made on a fraction of a budget that they can, primarily because obviously we make it in one language which is just relegated to one country. They make it in English, which can be exploited worldwide. So they have obviously access to great budgets. We make it really at a fraction of a budget, and yet if you're saying we're comparing it to that in terms of its look, I'm very happy. Secondly, when you say trailer देख के आपको लगा, I don't think वो right analogy है, क्योंकि trailer देख के आपको पता चल गया होगा it has nothing to do with Top Gun, except for the fact कि उसमें भी aircrafts हैं, यहाँ पे भी aircrafts हैं. वैसे तो वॉर एंड पठान भी सेम है, उसमें भी कार चेस बाइक चेस सब सेम था, वो स्पाई था, वो सेम लगेगा आपको. बट the similarity ends at those planes. Like I said, ये एक हिंदी पिक्चर है, और as we all know now by the trailer, it is inspired by a true incident that happened in 2019 with our armed forces, and that is an incident that obviously I'm sure has angered all of you all as much as it did to us, and it was a trigger for us to make a film and talk about the might and the stand that our country took, and the might of the forces and what they did and retaliated with. It's somewhere loosely based on that, obviously, and I think if anyone has seen Top Gun knows that that was nothing to do with Top Gun. So the similarity ends there, and as far as the character goes of being a rebel or Shamsher Pathania being that, Shamsher Pathania is a character that I think is a very brave decision by Hrithik to do, because it is something unlike he's ever done. He's never played a character like that who is so real. The cockiness is very real. It's not larger than life. Kabir or matter of fact Rajveer from Bang Bang are so different, are so cinematically larger than life. Patty is someone who could be sitting amongst us, and I'm sure there are a lot of cocky people with how they are, not with us, but I'm sure with their friends they are. So yeah, so he's like one of you guys. He's a common man, but yet obviously what he does is so larger than life. He sits in a machine that's worth 8,000 crores and can fly at that speeds and risk his life every time he sits in that cockpit. That arrogance you will have if you did that, and that is what Patty has, and that is what I think any character, whether you are in an English film or in a Chinese film, you will have that cockiness or the arrogance because of the things that you ride on every day. You risk your life every day. When you take off, you don't know if you land. The mantra is within the forces when you went there is that the CEO, that is played by Anil sir, he's a commanding officer, tells his boys, take off is an option, landing is mandatory. You have to land back, come back alive. So imagine what lives they live here. How can Patty not have that chip on his shoulder? And that is something that is similar with any pilot worldwide. So that's the only common link I would say.
Also, in my view, they are not the same at all. Because in Top Gun, he's a rebel without a cause. That's just his character. Patty, his arrogance is a force field. He doesn't allow people in because he's going through something. There is a backstory which you discover in the film. So actually he is not arrogant, he is not a rebel. He is protecting his inner feelings that he doesn't want to expose to people. And that is what ignites the scenes between Minnie, Patty.
I'm not saying that
his
for a
friends.
reason, that we want you to discover it.
Yeah,
But you
correct.
given a glimpse of it, okay, yeah, that ends there.
Hi.
Great seeing you after a long time. I can safely say that this is the kind of film everybody loves watching. Heroes like Hrithik Roshan, larger than life, a great canvas.
Well, I'd like to just correct that. In this film, which is what Sid was saying, it took time for me to be convinced about Patty, because Patty is not larger than life. The film is larger than life. I, up until then, was doing these characters which had this emotional arc which was larger than life. But I understood that what Sid is trying to achieve, he's breaking his own mold and constructing a hero, taking aspects of me as a person, finding them and putting them together and saying, hey, this is what I want from you as a human. From that human, I've extracted these bits and this is my character. He's not larger than life. He's not Kabir. He's not Pathan. He is just a guy. Yeah, so you were saying?
And that being said, what I would like to know is that post-lockdown, the big heroes, be it you, be it Shah Rukh Sir, Salman, Ajay, even Siddharth Kapoor now, is it possible that we ever see them post-lockdown doing a film that is much smaller in scale? Like say your poster Anil Sir used to do Mosiah, or like you had done Kabul and Guzarish. Are there takers for it, for these big heroes to do these films? Do you see the audience coming in for it? Is it possible going on?
Of course. Why would anyone not hope and dream of the scope of our films being as wide as possible?
Story.
To say good stories. I have done many such films that where box office was not in the calculation at all. It was just something that hits your heart. And if I find a script that hits my heart, like a Super 30, Kabul, Guzarish, if something hits me, there is, because I'm a slave to my instinct. As actors, we need to be slaves to our instinct. There's no mathematics in that.
I think he's been such a brave actor. I would interject there, sorry. I mean, someone like him doing, I don't know if I've told you, like a film like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. I think to do a 3-hero film and a film that on paper it's such a slice of life film. So he's never chased box office. So I think
See that happening now?
that's why I'm coming to that. So I think he's very instinctive that way. I think a good story, if it comes his way and it touches him, he doesn't think of box office.
If it doesn't happen, it will be sad. Because that means we are only sitting as not as artists, but as mathematicians and calculating. कि इससे इतना आएगा, let's do this.
वो कभी होता नहीं है, वो कभी नहीं होता.
Artists can't do that. Artists have to follow the heart.
अभी हम जिंदा हैं.
Can you recall any stunt in this film that was really hard for you to shoot? And share it.
So obviously, as you know, that this film is in alliance with the Indian Air Force, and there are a lot of stunts the chopper has done, and bits of it, I think if you see the trailer again, you'll see some stunts of it. And we can't really disclose much about the maneuvers and stuff.
I think the response is interesting because usually you would have an actor say or a director say this sequence, this, but the fact that we're actually bound by confidentiality in a way because it is so close to reality is, I think, what makes it really exciting.
Yep.
Hrithik, my question is for you. In the movie Lakshya, you played the role of an army officer, and here in Fighter, you are playing the role of an IAF officer, right? So as an actor, how different was your approach to both of these characters, and which one did you enjoy playing more?
Well, thankfully, the uniform, has some magic. Yeah. Every time it reminded me, there are 3 uniforms I've worn, not uniforms, all of them, but like Krish had a cape, a costume. When I wore that, I felt strong. In Laksh, when I used to wear the uniform, it gave me strength. And in Fighter, when I wore the uniform, in a second, you feel the responsibility, you feel the weight, you feel the strength. तो यूनिफॉर्म से जो ताकत जो मिलती है ना, that is very difficult to replicate. It is something that is surreal. It works, but it's true. You actually feel the power when you wear that uniform.
The specific moment is actually when you zip it up.
Yeah.
Wear it, and when you zip it up, that feeling is.
और मैंने जब पहली बार देखी थी तो मैंने सिड को बोला, Are you sure you want to take me?
वो भी एक कहानी है. क्या होता है ना, the uniform is such, it's an overall.
So one.
And any.
It's a one piece.
I have to say it. कि एक ये overall जो है इतना fitted है कि if you have 1 ounce of a curve कहीं पर वो highlight हो जाता है.
Man. Yeah.
So you have to fit into it seamlessly and look like that. And Anil sir saw it and got a little overwhelmed seeing it.
मैंने बोला, अभी घर का खाना बंद करो. ये जो खाते हैं हम.
And he said, मुझे 2 हफ्ते दे before I do the costume trial. And when he came 2 weeks later,
मैंने इसके 3 costume trial किए, फिर भी मैंने first, then I kept on, and I looked, I think, perfectly for the uniform. I think towards the last schedule.
And it's a strange feeling, man.
Always happens.
But it's a one piece. So you put your hands up, the waist comes here, your crotch comes here. It's like how do I get the perfect fit?
But still, you feel extreme.
it's amazing.
That feeling of pride.
No, but you have to be really fit for it.
yeah, it will be really fit. I mean, hats off to all the warriors, air warriors.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. You tell me.
An air warrior now, bro.
Hi everyone, Kushi here from Friends now.
Hi.
My first question is for Anil sir. So, for the past 2 years, we have been seeing you in some diverse and difficult roles. First, you were an arms mafia, and then you were a negligent and arrogant dad.
Negligent and arrogant.
So, how did you prepare for these roles?
At home.
It depends on every. Here it was first the physicality, and then I internalized it. There are certain roles which you first internalize and then and then you externalize. So it depends. For Animal, it was more internal than the external part of it, because I was playing my age, there are, like, I was just, so for this it was first the how do I look the part, the walk, the way I speak, and then I did all the research I could do for the character, and speaking to the officers, watching, I think every video or every piece of information I could have of all the officers and generals from all over the world, and watching them, the way they speak. And of course I always, there's a history, because I have also done an army officer in Pokar, which was a very exciting journey. But there was one film which I always I kept on watching, and I keep on watching since last almost over 50 years. And if you all get a chance, you must go on YouTube and just watch the film and the actor in it. It was George C. Scott who did Patton. And the film's name was Patton. And that film has always been my inspiration. I just loved the film. It was the first film which Francis Ford Coppola wrote the screenplay, and he won the Oscar for that. And that was the turning point of his career in a way. And when I was doing my acting course, the first character improvisation I did was also based on Patton. Because there's a book also, so I read the book and I kept on seeing the film, and again I revisited Patton again. And because you see, this role is, you have to get first the the physicality, the external things, and then go deep into it. So every film, every character has different process. For a night manager, obviously I'm playing the worst man in the world. I've never met a worst man in the world. So how do I do it? What do I do? I can't observe anybody because there's nobody the worst man in the world. So you then, to a certain extent, of course, I have to be honest, the original itself was brilliant. You already did the role, he was brilliant in it, absolutely fantastic in it. I read all his interviews and saw a lot of interviews, and so obviously there was a reference to my work also. Then I read the book, and he was an arms dealer. So in India you can't say, yeah, he was an arms dealer, so you go and watch his, like mafia becomes easier, but so that was a tricky part. So then you use your imagination also, and you in a way fictionalize and see, and then of course you rehearse and 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 then you write down, and then you find a pitch, and then you have the pitch, and then you say, is it the right pitch? Then you go on the set and you start speaking the way you rehearsed, and you sound very foolish. And then on the set again you do various takes, and then slowly steadily you find the correct sur. So that was a different journey. Balbir Singh was a different journey, and this is a completely different journey. So all three have been very different. So it's been very exciting, as Hrithik was saying, that for us it's for me it's de-stress. I said, when I'm stressed, I said, what do? I said, I must act.
Yeah.
I must rehearse. I must watch, all the interviews and people. So that de-stresses me.
Nice.
So for me, I'll never be stressed. कुछ stress हो, चलो यार कुछ acting करो. काम
Research करो.
Research करो. कुछ काम देखो. किसी का देखो.
Your first character improvisation was Patton.
Patton, yeah. My first character.
My first character improvisation in my acting class was इस शहर के ज़द्दार लोगों.
वो मेरी जंग.
कौन कहता है कि ठकराल साहब ने सिर्फ 75 लोगों की हत्या की है? इनकी गिनती तो 75 से बहुत ज्यादा है.
Nice.
Yeah. So, मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ कि
It was yours.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is the reason. आप टॉप गन की बात करें, इससे देसी फिल्म नहीं हो सकती. इसमें ऋतिक रोशन है, इसमें दीपिका पादुकोण है, इसमें अनिल कपूर है. उसमें था क्या? नहीं. ये तो ओरिजिनल है. करेक्ट है ना? उससे देसी फिल्म क्या हो सकती? इससे देसी फिल्म आप देख नहीं सकते. देसी बट क्लासी. दैट इज
मिशन
फाइटर. Absolutely.
My next question is for
तक याद है?
Oh, you have another
तो
question?
whole dialogue है.
कौन है भाई?
इस शहर
कहाँ हो?
यार
So recently, जब से trailer launch हुआ है, तब से a lot of Pakistani celebrities have been bashing the trailer, calling it an anti-Pakistan film.
नहीं झूठ बोल रहे हो. क्या बोल रहे हो सच्ची?
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं बिल्कुल.
So basically, I'll tell you. Obviously, I've read that, and I think my 2 bits in that is that like I said, it's based on a true incident, and we also depicted what actually happened in the incident. So it's out there, in public domain. So there's nothing new we've done, and some things that you're talking about that may have offended them, I would just want them, forget anybody else, I would want them to see the film and see the context in which what has happened and what has been said, and then react. This is out of context. In a trailer you put lines. If I play out the whole film like a story to you, then why will you come to the theatre? So I will raise some questions and sparks, so that to answer that you'll come into the theatre. That's what this has done. It has serviced exactly that motive, and I'm actually in a way happy it's done that, and it's made them on people inquisitive. So come to the theatre. It'll answer all your questions. You'll understand the context of it and the emotion behind it, and you'll be satisfied. Everyone will understand what we are saying. The primary thing I want to reiterate is that, and what has been said in the film, is that our war is not against a country, it's against terrorism, and that is what fighter stands for. It's a fight against terrorism, not against a particular country, and that is emphasized throughout the film. So come and see it and you'll get it.
My question is for you, Hrithika. a little similar to what's been asked to Hrithik earlier, but I wanted to ask you as well. Last year you had Pathaan, followed by Jawan, which were these big budget mainstream movies. So is Fighter, and from what we know, the next two, including Kalki and
Lotus 3.
That too, and Singham again. Where does this sort of leave you with space for movies like a Piku or a
Yeah, really.
In this
I agree with you.
point in your career, is there space for that kind of?
Where now space? Lotus 3 is
If
coming
Siddharth
next.
Anand decides to do Fighter 2
क्या
and
होगा
Fighter
अभी
3.
कैसे करेगी अभी मेरी फाइटर 2 बंद करा दी आपने लोटस 3 कर रही है और क्या क्या कर रही है
White Lotus.
व्हाइट लोटस 3 कब टाइम मिलेगा दीपू
Sorry, so your question?
को क्वेश्चन है कि आर यू डूइंग फाइटर 2 और नो
Are you, when you go to the next peak, they're asking you?
So basically,
Piku 2
at this point in your career, do you think there's space for movies like a Piku or a Tehran?
The space is there, the writers have to write. And I think that, I think it'll happen. I just think it's a matter of time. I think what happened is post-COVID, I think everyone felt a bit rattled, right? Because it was a new experience that everyone was coming out of. We've never experienced a pandemic. And I feel like pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, so once you come out of a pandemic, I think we made a lot of assumptions about where we're headed. Have things evolved? Yes, they have evolved. But I think we're jumping to conclusions very soon about, too soon in this journey about what's working, what's not working, only big budget films. I feel like there's, at the end of the day, actors service a script, service a director. And like I always say, I think you need to be true to the process. I'm not doing Fighter because it's a, what is the budget of the movie?
because it is directed by me
Yeah. I think you invest in stories, you invest in characters, you invest in people, you invest in the journey. Now, if that happens to be a 50 crore budget movie or a 25 crore, I'm more than happy to do that. And I've demonstrated by doing that pre-pandemic. In fact, even post-pandemic, Gehraiyaan was one of them. So I'm always open. I've always been that actor. In fact, way before, I've done films like they didn't do well, and so we don't remember them.
Finding Fanny also, no?
I've done Finding Fanny. I've done Chapak. I've done Khele Hum Ji Jaan Se. So there are a lot of these movies that I've always been lots of these movies. So as an actor, for me personally, I'm most excited about telling stories, investing in characters. Now, whether that happens to be a 500 crore budget film or a 50 crore, I've never looked at that. I'm interested in telling a story.
Hi guys, Alice Cara Peter from the Smart.
Hi.
My question is for Hrithik and Deepika. So yesterday we had a conversation with Siddharth when he spoke about the kind of journey the both of y'all have had, because individually
You
both
spoke
y'all
to
have
them
worked.
without letting
Sorry?
us know.
Deepika in your case it's been much more seen, or Hrithik in your case it's been Bang Bang and War, but also
Yeah.
maybe back then it's also been Mosi Dosti Karoge when he was like
Yeah.
So we have wonderful things to say about the both of y'all. What is the kind of progress that you guys have seen in Siddharth as a director? Like in your case, would be assistant director, director, and to now.
I didn't know he was that intelligent.
इन बच रहे हैं सीन हो
I was like, oh, he's talented, intelligent.
काम आता है इसको
So I've seen Sid. I've seen Sid as an assistant. Yeah, I remember him being. He's actually a rebel. As an assistant, he was.
That's so true.
Yeah,
say nice things
he's a rebel,
say nice things
rebel.
I've said nice things about you all
That's what I saw in him as an assistant, and I really didn't think much of him, to be honest, on the set. We used to be working, and he used to be playing the piano. We were shooting in a church, so he's playing the piano. Now I know, since then he's been finding his tunes for his film. He used to be stuck on the piano.
dun, da, da, dun.
Then I saw him give a speech at, I can't remember where it
Ficky.
was. Huh?
Ficky.
Ficky. So I give a speech and he said, eh? Because he gave a damn good speech. I said, hey, that's interesting. Then of course, he came with Bang Bang. And, well, that's history. But what I see in Sid is an incredible, what shall I say? He's definitely a fighter. He has done so much. His preparedness about Hindi cinema and cinema over the globe, his information, his knowledge, his ammunition is so good, because knowledge is your ammunition, information. He's so clued in with our spectrum, our journey, our history of Indian cinema. He knows that so well. Every song, every movie, he's watched everything. So that is his tank. He's got all the information. So for reference points, he can go to so many places. So that is one. The other is that he is stubborn. Like I think we all are. When he wants something, I can't tell you, it's almost borderline funny, because he's so angry, but he's looking so cute. So he's like a mixed breed. He's a mixed breed between like an Alsatian and a Pomeranian.
No, this will travel.
So he's got aggression because he wants it to go right. And on set, that's why I always say he needs a non-reflective human being. Which he has on each set. He has some non-reflective human beings, assistants, who just let his aggression just pass, because what they are seeing is a cute Pomeranian being angry. What I'm trying to say is that he is stubborn. He will not stop till the last moment to fix, to get things right, to be perfect. You think I'm a perfectionist? Meet Sid Anand. He will not stop, and that I think is where I completely align with him, because I know that he will not give up. If I have something that I think we need to discuss or fix and there's no time, I know he'll be standing beside me and I will be standing beside him. So that partnership has been extremely fruitful, and I have seen him grow through those films, where I have noticed growth, of course. I've seen his confidence grow as well, which is very important. But I've not seen the humility disappear. He's just as humble, he's just as self-aware, and he's just as eager to find out about himself. Hey, am I right? Am I wrong? There is no ego there. And that just is, for me, it's heaven for me. When I'm on set with a director who I can communicate with without any fear, I know he'll be a soldier right till the end. What else do you have to fear as an actor? You can give yourself, you can just say, hey, I'm here, man. Guide, lead, I'll follow. And that's, I think, what the best parts of our partnership has been.
Thank you, man.
I can't say it better than him, but I think if I were to add just one thing to that, I think it's how he does all of it with so much ease. The humility is one aspect, but also when you watch him on set, you'll never imagine that this is the same director who's made movies like War and Bang Bang and Pathaan and Fighter, because there is an inherent ease in the way you feel like he's making a rom-com, like he's
in restlessness.
He's just
like this.
He's
His
singing.
tongue is almost hanging out.
He's talking about
No,
something
I have to get
else.
this right.
I'm an action film director, yeah. मेरे image
And food. If you ever spend any time with him, you'll wonder how he makes movies, because he's only either talking about food
बहुत भूख
or
लगी है,
eating. These are the only two things he's doing. But I think just the ease with which he does what he does is something that I've discovered in this journey.
And at that time, he was the only one who was thinking that big.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be ignored.
True.
When we started, he was the only mind that was thinking beyond.
Yeah.
You know, he's not okay with giving the audience something that he already knows that they will like. He wants to give them something that will not just be liked, but be surprised by. Which is why he's just pushing the boundaries all the time. And what better human to partner with there?
Thank you.
On stuff like that. So,
Thank you for asking this question.
You have a knack to show all your actors, all your characters in a very stylish avatar. It might be a more serious movie also, but there's always a stylish touch to it. I remember last year when Pathan's making, the Shumita Pathan making video had come out, there was a bit where everybody was saying that Shahrukh was very shy about flaunting his abs. But in this movie, you've done everything with Hrithik and Deepika. Was it difficult to convince them, like how it was with Shahrukh the last time?
not at all.
Trust me. Trust me. It's not easy, first of all, to convince them, because it also, honestly, it stems from confidence that they have. They're confident of themselves. They are confident of their appearance.
Yeah.
About how good looking they are.
The most,
Look at them.
the
Just,
most underconfident.
just look at them.
Are being
I
labeled
mean,
confident.
इनको कुछ
Great,
बोलने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती मेरे को. I think, like I've said in my other interviews, that you just look at these cameras now, just see how gorgeous they're looking.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't need to do anything. I mean, just roll it at 48 frames and make them walk and see how, and just put great music.
No, but the truth is that I think we both, if I can speak for both of us, I think you can trust Sid
Yeah.
with stuff like that. You can trust him.
But also they work very hard. Honestly, I mean, jokes apart, it's not easy to look like this. I think they put in a lot of effort, and the one word that I would actually use is sacrifice. And there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into looking like this, and they're relentless. They know कि अच्छा ये क्या चाहिए, अच्छा ये पहनना है ओवरऑल, ये बीच पे जाना है, ये कपड़े पहनने हैं डांस करने के लिए. यार, look at them. It is like they're like rock. They're like, I mean, they're sculpted. So, and that is
Only for you, Sid. Only
it's a lot of effort that goes into it, and both of them.
There, it's not about the size, but it's about
Size मैंने कब बोला? मैंने fitness बोला है.
fitness. It's the reverse. It's because you trust that he has the right sensibility and that it's going to be presented in the right way, is why then actors like us will make the effort or even allow for that conversation to even happen. You trust the director, you trust his aesthetic sense, you trust that it will be presented in the right way.
I want to interject one more thing for Anil sir also. One very small thing, that funny thing that he tells me rather. Again, great amount of sacrifice to look how he looks at his age. Imagine, can anyone say he's 42?
Why are you underlining?
Does he look at 42?
But why are you underlining age?
I mean, because you don't look
I'm
42.
asking them, does he
look 42? I mean, just look at him. So the thing is, the sacrifice
45,
again
45.
that extends over here.
Yeah,
42,
he's wrong.
45.
45.
ऐसा मत करो, रबड़ को इतना मत खींचो.
इन्होंने एक चीज बोली थी कि I asked him अभी recently, sir, न्यू ईयर पे क्या प्लान है, क्या कहाँ जा रहे हो? तो he says, यार न्यू ईयर के लिए मैं, his mantra is that he just leaves the city. He says city में रहूंगा तो मुझे पार्टीज में जाना पड़ेगा, खाना पड़ेगा, पीना पड़ेगा. He goes into a health farm for New Year's. He goes into a health resort. He does yoga there.
No.
He wakes up at 6 o'clock.
No. You see, every decade, the holidays change. You see, when you're my age, obviously the holidays will go to medical and physical. क्योंकि सुबह उठो तो सब इधर दर्द हो रहा है, उधर दर्द.
तो ये होता है sacrifice to look like how they do. Yeah, it's not easy.
Both of you are there, Hrithik and you. I wanted to know, is there Bang Bang 2 happening anytime soon? Have the talks at least started?
अरे लोटस 3 बन रही है तो बैंग बैंग तो बनाना ही पड़ेगा अभी यार. तो अपने मुझे खबर दी है अभी यार.
समझाओ कोई इसको.
लोटस 3 बन रही है यार. बैंग बैंग
Lotus tree नहीं है भैया. White
You're
Lotus.
not starting your next movie till you catch up on all the shows.
Lotus 2. Where is it?
Never mind.
White Lotus. I know White Lotus.
Hi, Siddharth from Midday today here.
Hrithik, firstly, I don't know if you know, but Deepika has claimed that she has the best chemistry with you. You did. So I take your reaction to that, but Siddharth, also because you work with Shah Rukh and Deepika and Pathaan, tell me, what did you think of the difference of chemistry between them, and who has better chemistry according to you?
You have to see the film and you have to judge and you have to tell us.
Really.
But Hrithik, what do you have to say about Deepika's comment?
Well, I have said this repeatedly and I'll say it again because I will not tire. I think the chemistry works when two actors are coming in as actors and bringing realism to the dialogues, because sometimes the dialogues can sound like dialogues, you know, but when I work with her, her interpretation and her expression of each dialogue is so real that it pushes me to be even more real. So I have been constantly bouncing off of her in the scenes between Patty and Minnie, and I think that is what is going to create the chemistry that I hope that you discover.
And I wanted to ask you, pardon my language, but every action scene, action role that you've done, you've taken asses. But as a woman, I mean, it's hard to ignore that there's always a male star with you when you're doing an action film. Be it Pathaan, Fighter, or the next one, Singham 3, and of course,
Lotus 3.
But tell me, as a female, does it get frustrating for you to see that? And are you hopeful of the time where maybe you would be just headlining a film altogether, just you?
Yeah, sure. Wait for Shakti Shetty, I guess.
Singham is title role in
It's on its way.
But it still has Ajay.
Sorry?
It would still have Ajay.
I'll just check with Rohit sir and get back to you.
Hi, this is Priyanka from midday. Siddharth,
But sorry, I just want to complete my thought. You never anyway do anything alone. You know, you're always so. I just feel like this whole male-female conversation, I don't think women can succeed without men. And I don't think men can succeed without women. So it's not, I think we need to rephrase the definition of feminism.
Correct.
Fair.
hi. Siddharth, my question is to you.
Ji.
Only a question when he asked you about the trailer being termed as anti-far.
Ji.
You answered that sometimes you put things in the trailer to pique the interest of the audience.
Ji.
And to get them to theatres. Certain dialogues in the trailer are extremely triggering, and I feel that is trigger a new way of selling a film. And also I feel that when you say that the film is not about, it's not anti-country, it's about anti-terrorism. But when Hrithik says that we will reply you in a way, or we could reply you in a way that it will become India occupied Pakistan, that stops being about terrorism. At least from the trailer, that's what we get. So yes, I do agree that certain things are always added in the trailer which might not have the context of the full film, but when certain such emotions are there, reactions would obviously come. And I think especially after Pathaan, which I felt was one of the most progressive patriotic films that we've seen, this felt like just borderline jingoistic. So how do you as a director kind of justify or make sense of the decision that you took to put these things in the film?
I think I would call it more nationalistic than jingoistic, this film. And obviously there are certain things that are being viewed out of context, and I'm at the cost of being repetitive, I would say that watch the film and you'll understand it. And jingoism is something that, I mean, is somewhere a matter of perspective. I call it nationalistic. These lines, actually when you see it in the context of the film, is being told to a terrorist that don't keep pushing us, without revealing much. Is like I say, I think you just watch the film. This can unnecessarily spur a lot more controversy, which I don't think this film's goal is. This film is a happy Indian film. It's a Bharati picture, and I would not want it to get any other kind of attention other than the fact that it's a patriotic film. So watch it with that context.
The stupendous year that you had in 2023, and I wanted to ask you, when you get these kind of magnificent numbers like 1,000 crore to a film that you did, Animal, and the actor that you are, obviously everyone has seen, but then the stardom bit of it also becomes as bigger, and the level of that increases when you have these 500 crore, 600 crore. Does that sometimes, how does that make you really feel? Also because of the experience and the number of years that you have in the industry when your films are like, oh, aaj ye collection hai and tomorrow that collection? How does that make you feel?
I think Deepika said, I think I just love the answer which she gave, and that's what I always believe in, that how do you use that to do better films, and some films which you believe in, or good films, good stories, it makes it much easier, and that's what even Sid has done with, I feel he's, it was a big, yeah, that he had these successes, so he could make Fighter the way he wanted it. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for any other filmmaker to make this film, because it's real, it's authentic, it's nationalistic, and something which Indian audiences have never seen. तो उसके लिए क्या होता है कि कभी आपको ये सक्सेस मिलता है एक फिल्म मेकर की तरह, एक कलाकार की तरह, then how you use it, not only professionally, but in terms of many other ways, where to a certain extent, agar I can speak about, I would love to share my, how I'm what I am for so many years. How do I look the way I look? What is my fitness? Deepika has been, talking about mental illness, and it's, and I think it has reached out to many people who would be so shy to speak about it, and she's gone all out to speak about it. So you need, so that's what it is. There are so many of the actors who do that, and how do you use that stardom? And that's what we do for films, for stories, for personally, nationally, and like I had the opportunity of traveling all over the world, and when I was doing all these films, and they were successful films, and I met all the filmmakers, directors, executives, studio heads. The only thing I spoke was about India and how there's so much of talent. I discussed all the filmmakers, all the actors. I said, तुम लोग मुझे अच्छा बोल रहे हो? I am a good actor. There are thousands of actors better than me in India, and that's what you do. So when you get that opportunity, get that platform, you go and speak, about actors, about filmmakers, about so many other things. I think come and visit Rajasthan. Arey Kerala, Kerala dekho. Look at us country here. So we just do that. We get that opportunity. People take us seriously. So that's what we do. यार हमारे तुम यहाँ वहाँ क्यों जा रहे हो, पूरे दुनिया में ट्रैवल कर रहे हो, हमारे हिंदुस्तान में सब कुछ है, and that's what you do. And people, when we speak, थोड़ा सा seriously लेते हैं हम लोग, नहीं? सुनते हैं, हाँ, yeah. So I think that's what we do, yeah.
First of all, I think I'd like to also say this on behalf of everyone. We're having an entertaining conference here. Like, the conversations are so good and so exciting.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
Glad that you're part of the round two. Well, my
round 3 का क्या होगा?
Last day.
You're actually the best round. Warm up हो गया.
ये peak है. Next one's going to go down again.
ये सवाल शायद पहले पूछा गया है. So I'm going to just tweak this question because we didn't get the right answer. My question is that 45 years, January में कहो ना प्यार है आई, so 24 years and 16 years of your career. आज भी
45 years.
Me, yeah, not you.
You said कहो ना प्यार है.
We're not talking about anybody's age.
You said 45 years.
45, she said
I said 45 years for Anil.
Yeah.
24 years for कहो ना
Oh,
प्यार है.
20. Sorry, I missed.
Maths right.
And Sweet 16.
And Sweet 16 for Om Shanti Om. My question is that आज भी, before a scene, what is this one thing that you all are constantly fighting within yourself when you are giving that shot? Is there something that still is a fear in your heart when you all are giving a shot?
Would you like to go first?
Then of course, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think the scene has to challenge you, the role has to challenge you, the lines have to challenge you, and the more you feel anxious, and the more you work hard and harder, and that's what and I think a true person who wants to do his best can never, will never find that person. You can be confident but never overconfident, but always trying to raise the bar. That's what we are, and that's what we try to do, and because we love what we do, so and we are enjoy it, have fun with it, and so every day on the set or every day preparing for it is the best years of your life, and matter of fact, I think usse better kya ho sakta hai, that you are in a profession which you are that you love, and in that profession you get so much of love. You get to travel, you get to meet such beautiful people, interact with them, and I am what I am, given a good life, and I'm sure I can ask my children, my family, and my friends. So I try to use that. इससे better क्या हो सकता है?
So I'll just add to that. I think the first effort really is to how to interpret the lines that are in front of you, and to find out how you would say those lines. So you have to bring your humanness, your experiences, and kind of like find that merge where those lines can become you. So that's, I think, the first effort that we all go through. Secondly, you always have a vision of how you want that character to look. You know where he's starting, you know where he's going, so it's really important where that scene is going to come, so that you can see where in that scene you can enhance the qualities and the characteristics of the character, because you're still painting. It's in the process of being painted. By the end of the film, you finally see what that character was finally about. So this is the time you get to keep finding moments within the scene where you can do something to enhance a quality about that character which is not in the scene. But as an actor, it's your job to kind of like keep inserting moments and gestures and some nuances that will make you understand what that person is about behind the lines. So all of that is actually very I'm very afraid when I'm reading a scene, because that's something that is unpredictable. It is something you're always searching for, and that search never stops, not until the director says cut and he's got that shot. Us shot ki kahani khatam, ab next shot. So it just goes on and on and on, and that's the life. That's just the life.
And the always fear है कि सिद्धार्थ को अच्छा लगेगा कि नहीं. वो भी तो डर होता है.
As an actor, there is no place for vanity. And as an audience, I feel like all three of you as actors have strike such a great balance between, looking a certain way and, proving your potential in your craft. For a film like this, is that a challenge to strike that balance? And does that kind of confidence come with experience? How do you look at it now?
Well, first of all, I don't attach any value in the shape of your nose or your eyes or your chin. There is absolutely, for an actor, there is absolutely, there's no value in that. I think what is attractive is a mix and the journey of your expressions. When you're expressing something with any face, it may be any face in the world, but if it's expressing and taking you through a journey through those expressions, that is what becomes attractive. So it is really not about the position of your eyes and nose. And if we started believing that, oh my God, art would not exist. So I really, really think that actors should be very, very confident in that belief that I will look as attractive as anybody else if I'm expressing correctly, if I'm expressing my soul, if it's coming out there, if I am getting into the depths of this character and taking them through the mystery of what is going on in my mind. That is when they will be engaged, and that is when you will look attractive. So I really feel it's about that.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.